Maman died today. Or yesterday, maybe. I don't know. Society expects us to read from a specific emotional script. When a parent dies, we are supposed to weep. But the protagonist of Albert Camus' novel The Stranger, a man named Mersal, feels absolutely nothing. The story unfolds in 1940s French Algiers. It is a sun-drenched, oppressive environment where the heat dictates the rhythm of daily life and the physical world overwhelms everything else. During his mother's funeral, Mersal is entirely consumed by his physical surroundings. He doesn't shed a tear. He focuses on the exhausting march. He drinks coffee. He smokes a cigarette. His refusal to perform the grief society demands makes him the titular outsider. He isn't a sociopath. He is simply a man who refuses to fake his emotions, and that blunt honesty makes his very existence a threat to the established social order. The very next day, his life continues exactly as before. He goes for a swim. He begins an affair with Marie. They see a comedy movie. He displays zero signs of traditional mourning. He even gets pulled into the orbit of his neighbor, Raymond. When Raymond asks for help plotting revenge against an Arab mistress, Mersal agrees to write a baiting letter. He acts without malice, agreeing simply because he has no particular reason to say no. In Camus' philosophy of absurdism, humanity craves inherent meaning, but the universe is indifferent. The friction between our desire for purpose and the universe's silence is the absurd. Mersal perfectly embodies this. Governed purely by physical sensation, he treats every choice as equally arbitrary. He is honest to a fault. By refusing to construct a false narrative for his life, he lives authentically in a world where human actions have no preordained purpose. This purely sensory existence reaches a breaking point on the beach. Mersal walks alone under the blinding, inescapable heat of the Algerian sun. The environment acts as a physical weight pressing down on him. He encounters the unnamed brother of Raymond's mistress. Mersal doesn't approach the Arab man out of anger or a desire to kill. He steps forward simply to escape the heat and find relief near a cool spring. The Arab man draws a knife. The intense sunlight violently flashes off the steel, cutting across Mersal's forehead. Overwhelmed by the sensory overload, the sweat, and the blinding glare, Mersal impulsively fires his revolver. Then comes a crucial, damning pause. He stands over the motionless body and fires 4 additional times. Those 4 extra shots shatter the quiet harmony of his indifferent life. This senseless, physically driven act is the trap that pulls him out of his isolated sensory bubble and thrusts him directly into society's machinery of judgment. Inside the claustrophobic courtroom, the entire structure of the story shifts. We leave the realm of passive, physical reality and enter society's frantic, desperate realm of interpretation. The trial itself is an exercise in colonial absurdity. The court completely ignores the actual victim, an unnamed Arab man, reflecting the grim, unequal colonial power dynamics of French Algeria. The prosecutor ignores the events on the beach entirely. Instead, he weaves a highly structured, fictional narrative about Mersal drinking coffee and failing to cry at his mother's funeral. He brands the defendant a calculating, soulless monster. Even with his life on the line, Mersal refuses to play along. When asked to perform fake remorse for the jury, he honestly admits that he feels annoyance rather than regret for his actions. The jury sends Mersal to the guillotine for a murder they barely discussed. In this courtroom, the unforgivable crime is refusing to lie and validate society's moral illusions. Awaiting execution in his cell, Mersal receives a visit from the prison chaplain. The priest attempts to force one final script onto him, demanding that the condemned man repent, turn to God, and find hope. Mersal violently snaps. In his first and only display of profound emotion, he grabs the chaplain by the collar. He completely rejects religion, screaming that no one is privileged and that death is the only absolute truth. With the chaplain gone, the noise of expectation finally stops. Stripped of false hope and religious illusions, Mersal lays his heart open to the benign indifference of the universe. The universe does not care about human justice or purpose. But in that silence, Camus finds a liberation. By accepting that life is meaningless, A person is finally free to live it authentically. To fully consummate his life as an outsider, Meursault makes one final, defiant wish. He hopes that on the day of his execution, he is greeted by a large crowd howling with cries of hate, a final rejection of the society that could not break him.